Welcome to Africa's Leading Ladies, the show that celebrates women entrepreneurship in our country and across Africa. I am your host, Patricia Esikote. Fitness business has grown over the years, and today we look at the story of Roseann Kamau, the founder of Treasure Fitness.
And when you're thinking about nutrition, fitness, and lifestyle, the first thing that comes to mind is I always want you to think about health being wealth. You've always thought about people who are getting older, people who've gotten into their older age, and in the latter part of their life, all they're taking care of is their health. And they've amassed all this wealth, and yet in the latter part of their life, instead of enjoying their wealth, what they're doing is they are using all their wealth to take care of their health. So how does fitness, lifestyle, and nutrition all coming together? For me, when I think about fitness and nutrition, it's really all about how do we take care of the vessels that God has given us, which is our body, which we can only live in once. How can we take care of it so that we can then be able to live a completely transformed and a completely fruitful life, right? So we're talking about how are you able to exercise? How is your mental health? How is your emotional health? Because even when you talk about fitness, we're not necessarily just talking about going to the gym. I really want you to think about fitness as how is your mental health? How is your emotional health? How is your physical health? How are your relationships around you? Because when all that wellness and when all that is fit and is healthy, you really have that healthy body. Now, when you think about all those things that I've mentioned, how does lifestyle come to play? You're thinking about what it is are you eating? What are you feeding your family? Who are you hanging around with? What are you listening to? What books what information are you giving your brain? What information are you giving your mind? And that really sets the tone for your lifestyle. So really, Treasure Fitness was started as a result of my own lifestyle crisis. So back in the many years ago, I'm not even going to mention how old, but I was in my 20s, and I was pregnant with our first baby, and I was in corporate doing corporate job, and I got pregnant, and so I went for just a regular follow-up with my doctor. And when I went to my doctor's, something alarming came up. He told me, usually when you go see a doctor, he will call, if you're okay, you don't need to see the doctor. Usually they're like, your results are fine. But the minute you're called back into the doctor's office, it most likely means there's something off. So the doctors called me back. And when I went back to see my doctor, he told me he had noticed that my cholesterol levels were high. Now I want you to imagine, I was in my 20s. And at that time, in my head, I thought when you hear cholesterol, it means you're dying or you're going to get a heart attack. That's what I thought. I mean, we know the science now, that's not what it means. But at that particular moment, that's what I thought. So the doctor says your cholesterol is high. And so he said, and I'd also gained weight, obviously. So the doctor said, I want to see you back in 3 months. And in 3 months, I want to see your numbers down. And he gave me a pamphlet, a trifold pamphlet, and said, this is the information you need, so go get yourself better. Now, I remember thinking, wait a minute, you're telling me I have cholesterol? Because in my head, I'm thinking I'm going to die. I have a new family, I'm newly married, and you're telling me this is all you're giving me? I just thought that's not enough. So what I ended up doing is really going to do research on how to get healthy and how to get better, because I knew if I go back to see my doctor, I needed to bring those numbers down. But can I tell you, it's out of my own struggle of being overweight and being diagnosed with high cholesterol that I really found my passion. And so I then started helping my friends. I started helping people. And over time, I just saw the need was there. There are many people who are struggling with lifestyle diseases. There are many people who are struggling with losing weight. There are many people who are just sort of having so many issues. And for me, I just saw the need. And then I decided, you know what? This is something I am very passionate about, number one. And number two, I can see the need for many people being helped. And so really that's where Treasure Fitness was born. Started it in Boston, Massachusetts, and moved back to Kenya in 2015. And so have continued on that journey of really educating people and helping people to live healthier lives. So that's how Treasure Fitness was born. So when I actually started Treasure Fitness, the first thing I started was actual fitness, which was a gym. And as I started coaching my clients, one of the things that I realized was they needed the nutrition component. And so I started the fitness, I became certified for fitness, then I became a certified nutrition coach because I saw I needed to merge those two so that if you're working out and you're not seeing the results, let me teach you on how to eat, because I'd also gotten better by learning how to eat and eat differently. So what I do now at Treasure Fitness is a lot of coaching. So I coach clients on eating healthy. I coach clients on living a balanced lifestyle. I coach clients on moderation. And what we end up doing is I basically have sessions. I have group sessions for classes. I also have sessions with clients one-on-one where they would come in and basically I will go through your entire profile. You'll give me your whole history. What is your goal? What do you want to do? And then once a client is able to give me what their goal is, I'm able to work backwards. As a coach and with a background in psychology, I'm really able to identify your why, the reasons why you're getting stuck. But anyway, so I help clients come to identify those things. So it's just not where we sit with a client and they give you a meal plan. No, I don't believe those things work, because even just looking at people who do those long term, they don't work. So I really sort of try to understand you as a client, what your goals are. I understand what is blocking you, and then I help you, give you strategies on really how to unblock those, so that then you can become, you can be able to eat healthy for yourself and for your family. So we go through a full body assessment. So I take your girth measurements, the whole body transformation. I take your fat, your muscles, your bone density. So I have a machine that I use that just gives you a nutshell who you are. It even tells you how old your body is. So if let's say you are 28 years old and then the machine tells us your body is what, maybe 40 or 50. It's just basically going to tell you you're aging a little bit faster than you actually are in your body age. Does that make sense? So that's basically what I do. We do those assessments, then we do follow-ups with clients. So we'll keep following up, identifying the new things we need to work on. I give clients, this is what you need to work on. And that over time is how we're able to see transformations happen. Yes. So there's a lot of them, by the way, has been word of mouth, which I think has really helped, because again, I tend really to focus on, I want my clients to get the results, right? So a lot of them have been very happy. So majority of my business and a big chunk of it has grown by word of mouth. So I'm very grateful for that. I do a lot of social media as well. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I am on Instagram. I have a free YouTube channel, Treasure Fitness. So all this I do on social media, where I give a lot of free information, tips, especially on how to eat, how to exercise, how to live healthy, how to live a balanced life. A lot of it really has grown. That's how I market. So social media, clients, also B&B. So, talking to different businesses, complementary businesses. We kind of see, if we have some synergies, maybe there's someone who does something complementary to what I do. We trade services. So that's also another way of growing business. So I think, as you know, every business, you have some good days or good months, and you have some not so good days and not so good months. I think in fitness, specifically in fitness, you'll find that we have cycles in the fitness world, right? January, everyone is making New Year's resolution. We're all losing weight, aren't we? That's a resolution like a majority, I think half the population in the world makes, yeah? So, yeah, we do have some good months for sure. We have some not so good months where some months you do well, some months you don't do so well. So you really sort of try as a business to look for different avenues and different ways to sort of try and stay afloat. Yes, so we do have a gym, and gym helps. right? It does help, but what it does help with is really a small percentage. The biggest percentage is your lifestyle and your nutrition. So we do have the gym where you can be able to see the workouts that we do. I'm able to take clients through amazing workouts only for half an hour, by the way. We don't work out for more than half an hour. If you have only 10 minutes and you want to work out for 10 minutes, I'll work you out for those 10 minutes, but I can promise you it'll be a good 10 minutes of workout. So the sessions with my clients are structured in terms of when it's coming to nutrition coaching, I'll talk to my client and give them certain dates, or they'll give me dates when they're available. Then they will come in where we will sit with them and basically coach them or take them through that program of what it is that I'm going to do. Generally, I require to work with clients for at least 6 months, because I do believe in 6 months, several things will happen. Number one, you'll have learned a lot of the things that maybe hold you back. Number two, you will learn about your body really well, especially with a guided coach, which I'll be guiding you through. And number three, by 6 months, you'll have an amazing transformation. And you know what's so interesting? A lot of people always feel like, I don't feel like I'm making a lifestyle change, because it's usually very gradual. But at the end of those 6 months, it's like when you look at before and after, I mean, it's a completely different human being. So we do social media. So we do the Twitter, in Facebook, Instagram. That I think is the YouTube. That really has been a good way of us marketing the business. Fitness. So with Treasure Fitness we focus on both nutrition and fitness and lifestyle. So it really looks at the whole body. I just don't look at your fitness. I just don't look at the body itself and think about, you come to the gym, whoop you into shape, and then you go off on your own. I recognize there's so many steps in between. I'm only with a client for 30 minutes, some an hour, right? But that's all I have. You have the next 23 hours out of 24 in a day to yourself. That's where now I come in, and I'm really into their business, just so you know. One of the things, I don't leave clients. I want for them to do well. And so the ones I've noticed that we communicate a lot back and forth, they're the ones who tend to, and they have a lot of questions, they're curious, they send me their meal plans or the food that they're eating. Those are the ones that I have found tend to have the best results, because they're really into it and they're listening and they're willing to be coached through the process. Oh goodness, I've gotten yes. There's been quite a few challenges. I'm not gonna lie. There's been challenges of maybe people signing up and not paying you, right? If you're a business and you're relying on this for your work and someone's not willing to pay you, I think that's been a challenge. There's also a challenge. I'm in the service industry, right? So in my industry, it's not like where you have I'm gonna give you a cup, right? And I'll say here's a cup, and you get the service immediately. Mine, a lot of it is coaching. And a lot of people, what I've found is they assume, because you're in the service industry, I can just come and give you free information without necessarily getting paid back for it. And I think that is something that we need as a society to really look at. People who are in the service industry have gone to school for this, have been educated, they know exactly what needs to be done, and they're actually trying to teach you so that you don't make some mistakes, right? So I want you to look at this as any other business, sort of like a brick and mortar where you can go in, I can grab my apples and I give, I'll go, you have the apples, I'll give you the cash, and I'll go home with an apple, right? I can see that. The service industry is the same thing. The difference is here we are taking you through a process of coaching. So there's that element where I found where people might not necessarily value the service or what it is that we're offering. So I've found that to be sort of challenging, but there are those who absolutely see the value in it and are willing to be coached through that process. So majority of my clients and who I target are mostly moms and young adults, right? And especially women. That's who my biggest challenge, my biggest market is. Families. So the reason why I focus on mothers is because I know moms rule the world. They run the homes. That's a joke. Moms run the homes. A lot of them run their homes, and they're the ones who determine what's going to be eaten. They're the ones who determine how the schedules, especially for the kids, are coming to play. And in that sense, when I've seen that, so for me, as a mother myself of 2, I've realized and I've seen I have a lot of influence on what happens within our kitchen table, on what happens in the dining table. When I go to the market, I'm the one who determines what comes into the home. So I recognize that moms have a lot of power and influence in that. And then, secondly, moms take care of everyone else and they forget themselves. And when they forget themselves, they don't take care of themselves, guess what happens? Even the family crumbles. So for me, just looking at those 2 angles, I've always felt I want to focus on the moms for 2 reasons. Number 1, if I help a mom take care of herself, she's going to be able to take care better of her society, for sure. Really, my everyday inspiration is several things. Number 1, my kids are my inspiration. I think I want to be as good of a mom as I can be to them. I want them to see that as their mom, they can be able to do what it is that I do. That's number 1. Number 2, I am also really inspired by my clients. I'm inspired especially by clients who have tried their very best either to lose weight, people who've really overcome insurmountable obstacles, or people who have felt, this is an area where I found that was really difficult, but they've been able to push through. And so one of the things I found is the spirit of the human being is very powerful if you're really able to focus in on exactly what you want. So those inspire me. Number 1, I would try something for free to see whether it works. That's number 1. Number 2, find a mentor. Find someone who is doing exactly what it is that you want to do. Reach out to them. Let me tell you, people are willing to give back feedback and people are willing to help. Reach back to them, talk to them and ask them, hey, I am looking to start XYZ business and I'm looking to sort of for guidance from you. Can you help me? Do you know what else you could also do with that mentor? Actually go and work for them. Stick with them. Go and work at say, I am volunteering, right? If you don't have money, you know what? Give of yourself 3 months, 4 or even 6 months. Go and volunteer in their company. Just get to see how things get done, get run. Because the minute you understand how because business, a lot of us see business and we have this beautiful vision of, a business. But let me tell you, what goes behind the scenes, it's not as pretty as the end product. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, right? So that's what I would say. Get a mentor, really give off of your time, volunteer somewhere, and then once you start the business, there has to be an element of resilience. I'm not gonna lie. Because like I said, there's challenges in the business. There's the ebbs and the flow. The market, some days are good, some days are bad. And it's in those valleys, when you're deep down, that you really have to dig deep and find did I start this business? Because I've had those conversations with a lot of my friends. Why am I doing this? Because it can get really, really difficult, but you really just want to be resilient. All right, Miss Linda. So step onto the scale. Arms to the side. Look, take off your watch. Take the watch off. Sorry. And even that heavy. Yeah, heavy. All right. Arms to the side. Step on. Look straight up. Stay still. Perfect. Step down, Linda. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Let's sit down and let's see where we're at right now. All right, Linda. So I'm really excited by your progress so far. Based on what we had the last time, it's looking like you're going in the right direction. So we've obviously, that's your weight right now. Your fat. Let me see. Looking at your fat numbers, they're also going in the right direction, okay? So we have then your fat percentage and your total fat mass. Then we have your lean muscle mass, right? Your water is also going up, so that's also really good. Your bone density is also in a good direction. I still think there's one area that we probably will need to continue to work on. I think we still have some work to continue to do. So what I'm going to ask of you, Linda, to do is over time, we're going to continue to focus on food nutrition. I think that's number one, because that's what we're talking about.
Job searching in Kenya is not a new factor, with over 1.4 million Kenyans looking for employment. These are some of the businesses you can start with less than 100,000 shillings. That's all we had for you this week. But remember to keep in touch with us at Fanaka Digital on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. For now, take care. I've been your host, Patricia Esikote.